Hello everyone, MirageFly here, bringing you another game in Company of Heroes 2. This time we'll be against DoubleDare, who will be our US Forces player, down the south of Longerskaya, against SturmTigerFrost, trademark, our cool bear austere player, up in the north. As for commanders, DoubleDare has Infantry Company, Airborne Company, and Rifle Company. Meanwhile, SturmTigerFrost has Encirclement Doctrine, Luftwaffe Supply Doctrine, and Elite Troops Doctrine. I'm hoping we don't see Elite Troops simply because of the Tiger Ace, but hey, maybe this will actually be a good game. Maybe even if we do get the Tiger Ace. Anyways, we got, look like 2 Pioneer opening. Interesting. MG's coming out from the HQ. Tier 1's just going up for our austere player. Now in the south, nothing unusual. Just another rifle squad going to be coming out. Rifles are moving on to the right-hand side of the map. Looks like they may be looking for engagements and to secure the field while the rear echelon do the entire capping of the northern part of the map. Got our Pioneers capping so far on the munition point. Cutoff has been secured. MG42 team has arrived. Looks like the rifles are going to be ducked into a house immediately. Probably going to have another rifle squad coming up for DoubleDare. Going to have our first engagement. Pioneers are going to jump into the building. MG42 is probably going to follow as well. Pioneers now moving out. We'll probably begin capturing while the MG42 tries to hold the center. He's actually faced though. Rifles will be jumping into the house. I think the MG42 may win this engagement simply because it has a ton of DPS and they're not exactly that far from each other. Doesn't help that the rifles are not shooting at the MG42 team in the building. Rear echelon still capping, now the rifle squad in the back also capturing. Third rifle squad has arrived. We have a Grenadier squad now out for SturmTigerFrost. And looks like he already locked into his doctrine. Interesting, we got Luftwaffe Supply Doctrine. I guess he could try to win engagement with the medical crates. Those things are powerful, but it will lead up his munitions. Second rifle squad's going to jump in the building. G42 hasn't taken that much damage in the house. Rifles are taking significant damage from the MG42 though. Pioneers will engage these rear echelon. I don't think these rear echelon are going to win, especially not at this range. They did not open up a volley fire either. Pioneers trying to get closer, but they are taking damage. Our rifles are coming up. We'll force away those Pioneers. Meanwhile, engagement here. Go. Rifles still shooting. Pioneers forced back. Fuel has still not been captured. Grenadiers way behind green cover. 42 will switch his targets onto the other rifle squad who's not in the building. Do have Grenadiers here. We'll begin opening up. Have to wear down the rifle squad in the building. Our map control is not looking good for our austere player. He still hasn't secured his field yet. You know, US Forces player is pretty much taking over 50% of the map and is still continuing to push up. Flamethrower has arrived though. We'll smoke these rifles out. These rifles need to bail out of the building. One rifle member needs to get out, needs to run now. So we just barely get out of there with one member left. So we're going to inflict a bit of manpower damage. No attack coming up for our US player yet, though he does have 60 fuel available. Can buy anything that he wants in terms of captain or LT, or go for his rifle upgrades. Well, SturmTigerFrost has a bit of resources, not in terms of manpower, but he can upgrade the battle phase 1 if necessary. Grenadiers need to stop and begin opening up. Rifles look like they will have this engagement. Grenadiers forced to pull back. More Grenadiers have come up for our austere player. Now at 3 squads of Grenadiers, 2 Pioneers, and 1 MG42. US Forces player sitting up 4 rifles. Looks like, did we buy anything? Looks like we got our weapon racks are now available. No officers arriving onto the field just yet. Grenadiers will engage these rifles. Pioneers will help this engagement. However, now rifle squads come out. You're going to need more support here. One of the Grenadier squad will be forced to pull back. Got a big push towards the cutoff. Flamethrower is going off. The troops are awfully bunched. However, they will begin focusing fire. Flamethrower is still going off, but still doing significant damage to all the troops in cover. Maybe lose the rear echelon. Rear echelon squad goes down. Grens need to switch into the other rifle squad. Rifle squad is forced back. Our Grenadier squad is here to support. Those force players not looking good so far now. Still has no officer coming up. You can't afford it though. MG-42 in the house, still locking down the area. Actually firing out further from its range. Battle Phase 2 has been... well, Battle Phase 1 has been researched. Light armor can now be deployed once he decides to put the building up. He'll be doing that now. Will be coming up pretty quickly as well. 2 pioneers working up. And double flamethrowers. Interesting. Medical crates are on their way. Will provide some healing. Austere players now begin to push up. Our rifle squad is going to begin ninja capping this. Getting bars on our riflemen. Interesting, a very late LT. Well, not very late. That late, but should have arrived much sooner than it should have. US Forces players still sitting at quite a big... US Forces players still sitting at a good amount of fuel. Once he gets some manpower, he can build anything from the structure and either get HMDs to support him or for an M15 half-track. Flamethrowers are moving up. Rifles are not in cover, however, but they're probably not going to win this. It is 2 units against 1. Rifles have been forced back, but they did get the decap. Still no ambulance up for a US Forces player either, so he's going to have a wounded squad in the next fight. Rifle grenade going off. That was not dodged at all. Loses 3 members and takes more health damage. LT has arrived on the field. Looks like fuel expenditure was put into something. Going for captain immediately after? What's the point of buying the lieutenant then? There's another combat squad? Rifles should probably begin killing these pioneers. Probably going to be easy fights since they have the bar as well. LT's also pitching in. Rifles should shift fire and probably get into cover. Rifles are moving up, trying to close in on the Grenadiers. Need to begin focusing on the Grenadiers though, not the Pioneer. Rifles need to pull out. Could be a bad retreat though. Very low health. Grenadiers, however, will not open up on him. LT is moving up. Forcing away the Grenadiers. However, the other Grenadier squad is moving back in. This Grenadier squad should probably get into cover though. LT squad switching on to the other Grenadier squad is also not in cover. Taking significant damage from the bar at range. Or maybe not so significant damage. A cheat gun has arrived for our Axis player. Interesting, he put a bunker on the cutoff. Those Forces players not able to push at the moment. Probably needs a pack howitzer at this point. He honestly should have got some sort of unit out from his LT tech if he's really going to unit, or he should have just gone straight to captain and start buying indirect fire units to break this. Gotta be decisive with your units, but you also got... when you purchase something, you gotta make sure you make use of it. Well, it does allow the ability to back-texture those units when necessary, I guess. Luftwaffe supply drop is on its way. We'll be dropping munitions for our Axis player. Plus 30 munitions per drop. Grenadiers up in the north beginning to capture. Rifle squad is moving in to respond. Stuart is on its way. Honestly, I don't think it'd be a good choice at this point. Stuart's not particularly that great against infantry, and while it can do decent damage, I think a pack howitzer would be better. Especially in dispatch, since it's very powerful. With the suppression and... well, I like to say it's pretty much armed with laser-guided rounds. Meanwhile, munitions still being picked up. Rifles begin to move up and engage this LMG Grenadier squad. Grenadiers will be forced to pull back. Pioneers begin to move up. However, they will begin being focused by the rifles. Squads need to spread out though, they're really bunched up in cover. Meanwhile, the engagement up here. Rifles were forced to fall back, but Captain forced away the Grenadiers. Rifles doing significant damage on the Pioneers, forces them away. MG42 still in the building. Not sure how it's able to fire out past its range. Maybe it has to do with the elevation from what I've heard. Going to attempt to capture this. However, we do have a bunker in the area. We'll stop this immediately. Immediately falls back. Still no ambulance on the field. Gonna be difficult to heal that. Pack Howitzer could come out now. Or some sort of other unit. So it'll take its first shot and take out a Grenadier. Manpower is being used to reinforce these squads, will delay more units from coming out. AT gun is on the field. First shot hits the Stuart. Stuart's going to begin backing away. No, Captain Squad holding out in green cover. Going to be a very slow engagement. Medical crates were grabbed and LMG-42 has arrived. We'll speed this up. Not very good for the Captain Squad since he only has 1 grand. And there goes our M1 Grand, so it's pretty much looking for Lucky Bazooka snipes at that point, but decides to pull back now. Looks like our rifles did manage to capture field point on the right-hand side. Do we have any upgrades coming out for our Austere player? Yep. Battle Phase 2 has been researched. Support Armor Core is now available for purchase. Meanwhile, Stuart's back in action, ready to go. Still no Doctrine lock-in for DoubleDare. Should probably be lock-in soon. Wants to make use of those doctrines. Lieutenant's getting ripped up. He's running across the road into an MJ42 squad. We're going to open up on the Grens. However, more rifles are coming up. Big massive rifles pushing up. We'll force these Grens to fall back. However, the Storm needs to pay attention. May lose our Grenadier squad retreat. Immediately goes down. He drops his MG42 and the rifles are probably going to pick that up. Incendiary is going off on the Stuart. And the pack tells in the last shot. Stuart does go down without really accomplishing much. Rifles forced back off the right-hand side. Someone needs to pick up that LMG-42. Can he even pick it up, or did... No, he has a squad that can pick it up. This squad only has 1 bar. Needs to really pick that up. Don't want to give that back to the Germans. No Pioneers capturing on the right-hand side. Riflemen really need to pick up that LMG-42. Someone needs to pick that up. Our Grenadier squad is on its way. MG-42 is going to be falling back to base to reinforce. A 50 cal? Interesting. Gets good use of the suppress the Grens, but I'm not sure why he's not picking that up. We're going to have a Grenadier squad with 2 LMGs, and one of them is Vet 2. Give him that 40% increased accuracy. The Grenadier squad is going to be again ripping through the rifles easily. Rifle grenade does go off, only takes on 1 model, forces the squad to retreat, however. These riflemen are going to be forced to pull back. Needs to pull that rifle squad. I don't think he's paying attention. We'll be running across the road. 50 cal is set up. We'll begin suppression. Suppressing, not suppression. Doing significant damage on the Grenadiers, forced them to pull back. LT behind heavy cover. Rifle grenade is going off. We'll eat that grenade. Loses 2 members. How we'll make it back to base. Still needs to get an ambulance out to heal this. Luftwaffe is coming in, drop off field. I wonder if he's going. Interesting. He's buying Battle Phase 3. Trying to use that to jumpstart his production of the Panthers and Broombars or whatever he wants. Probably the Panther though. I don't think anyone buys the heavy armor core just for the Broombar. In fact, I don't think anyone really buys it for the Broombar regardless. Grenadiers engaging. Doing what they can. Grenadier squad will be forced to pull back. 50 cal has been engaged. It's not facing properly. We'll get wiped if it doesn't fall back. We'll begin falling back now.
The enemy is overrunning one of our capture points.
Rifles will begin moving up, but I think this is double LMG-42 squad. We can rip into rifles, especially since they're not in cover.
Our supply line is cut. Germans are making a push.
The rifles are pushing up. Grens will be forced to pull back. Big mass rifles in the center. Still no construction going on yet. No med bunker either, relying completely on supply crates. Pioneers picking up the field drops. Grenadiers begin the fight. Now Vet 3. No Vet 3 rifles for Americans yet. MG42 still staying in this house and doing suppress on whoever decides to try to capture these points. Excuse me. I still wonder what our American player is doing. I think he spent his fuel on something. That Major Tech? Yes, he did buy a Major. It will be coming out. Pretty delayed, however, because he did buy a LT and the Captain, as well as the Stewart, which got blown up. Looks like he dropped one of his bars. Needs to pick that back up. So the rifle's going to grab the bar. This guy... Does DoubleDare just not know that there's weapons on the ground that he can pick up? Another rifle grenade going off will clear the 50 cal. Actually, he hits the rifleman. Will clear the 50 cal regardless, however. He still didn't pick up that BIR. I'm wondering why. He had the weapon slot, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, he only has one bar in that squad. Vet 3 MG Grenadiers. Come on, the MG42 will force these rifles back. Ambulance is now coming out very late. Big push of rifles. However, they're all badly damaged. This is what happens when you buy your healing in, what, 16 minutes into the game? Generally not a good idea. He better not be charging into that. He knows the bunker is there. And rifles will begin pushing up. We'll again focus on the Grenadiers on retreat. May or may not be able to get them. Rifle grenade does go off. Rifles need to begin shifting their fire onto this Grenadier squad. Should probably just attempt to close as well. 50 cal has been recruited by the Captain. The bars are just not cutting it at this range, especially since the Grenadiers have their survivability buff at Vet 3. 50 cal is firing, however. Cal does force the Grenadiers off and takes out one member. Heavy Panzer Corps has been bought. I'm not sure what our American player is going to do, though his Major has arrived. He still has a ton of munitions. Maybe just for the hell of it, just drop Major Artillery on the house. Big group of infantry coming out. Needs to not stand in the middle of the road. Use cover, please. That Major Artillery, really? On this unit? Why? Rifles are coming out of the base. We'll begin engaging these pioneers who have taken the cutoff. Grenadiers will be forced to pull back. LT will make it back to base. Needs to reinforce. Oh, more units come back out of base for SturmTigerFrost, and it looks like we got a Brumbar in the way. I'll say this, the moment you build a Brumbar, or then pretty much in this stage of the game is generally the idea of disrespect, I say. Like, do you really need the Brumbar? The Panzerwerfer will probably do well in this situation, but... Oh. But anyways, here comes the Brumbar. It'll do what it can. Fire its first shot. Take out one member of the HMG squad. We'll shift fire onto the rifles, who will immediately fall back. 50 cal is still sitting there. One thing that you should note about the Brumbar, it becomes a lot better if you decide to attack ground with it. And sorry if I am complaining about the Brumbar, I just don't find it that great of a tank for when it comes into the game. When you're paying so much fuel for a fixed gun and tank that's meant to operate at short range and still doesn't absorb AT fire that well. I mean, how much does it cost? 47 in manpower, 160 fuel? Yeah. There are generally a lot better options that you can get for that. Our Broombar will open up. Lands a nice hit on the house. Broombar will again moving up. Open fire on the captain squad, takes out 2 models. Captain needs to fall back. Rifles closing on these pioneers. Pretty sure the rifle's going to win this regardless, as they are at vet 3, giving them much higher survivability. Our Broombar is on the field. We'll begin moving up. Maybe wipe the squad. Rifles will pull back, however. We got a lot of Grenadiers on the retreat path. Broombar will it fire? Fires 1 shot. However, misses. LT is now going to get the Wrath of the Broombar along with the Grenadiers against him. And that is a squad wipe. Broombar has claimed a squad wipe of 6 kills. M36 Jackson is on the way in sort of response. AT grenade going off. I'm not sure if he's low enough health. Actually, he is at low enough health. We'll cripple the engine. Pioneers need to get repairing that. Pack has been spawned. He's begin falling back. Doesn't want to get decrewed. American player does not decide to keep pushing. Push on that pack and take it out. Broombar will focus on these rifles. Grenadiers do manage to pick up the field. I'm not sure who's going to win this. We got 2 LMG-42s on 1 squad. However, we do have a bar on the rifles, and LMG-42s are not that good at short range. But it's Vet 2 versus Vet 3. We will on the engagement here. More units have been forced off by the Broombar. Looks like Grenadiers will lose that. Incendiary is going off. Broombar is in bad trouble. Our M36 Jackson did miss its first shot. We'll begin moving up. Does land a penetrating hit. Pack gun needs to move up to support. Axis does have a lot of fuel at the moment. Jackson needs to duck behind the hedge. No, he shouldn't. He could just duck here and attack around through the hedge. And he will lose that Jackson without getting the Broombar. Very bad. I plan to chase with the Jackson. Or if he was going to chase, he should just go along here and try to attack around through the hedge to finish it off. Meanwhile, Grenadier is moving up.
The capture point is being overrun.
Major is under fire from this Grenadier squad. Will be forced off.
Our supply line just got
Our rifles have managed to capture the right-hand field. Panther is on the way. Our allies are sitting at, well, very low anti-tank options against heavy armor. They only have the dual bazookas on the captain. They're only going to be effective if you manage to get the flanking shots, and I don't think SturmTigerFrost is going to let them have that. Broombar will open up. Takes out 2 members of the captain squad. Rifles are pushing up. Broombar is going to miss that shot. AT grenade goes off, however, it's not at the health threshold. Another AT grenade is going to go off. Another AT grenade doesn't go... What? Another AT grenade goes off, but still doesn't cause engine damage. Broombar still hasn't been knocked below 75% health. Rifle squad forced back, but it's going to get wiped on retreat by the MG-42, and he drops another bar. Drop rates are not looking good for our American player, and the Panther has arrived. Pretty sure it's much closer to a heavy tank than the Broombar is. Never understood why the Broombar has heavy tank lines. Interesting enough, the Broombar has lines for using the austere medium tank voice. Always referring to as general name Stupa. Surprised they didn't use those lines. Anyways, Pioneers trying to flame the rifles. Rifles will be forced to pull back, and a bunch of Grenadiers coming on the base to engage. Well, that was a bunched up squad if I ever seen it. That's what I generally don't want to go through that area. Especially against units with large AoE. Broombar is Vet 1. Gives him that bunker busting barrage. And it looks like our American player is actually going to call it. So good game to SturmTigerFrost. No, I'd say questionable decisions made by DoubleDare with his tech choices on that. But anyways, this was a good game to get back into casting to. And this is MirageFla signing off.